Are you ready to take a significant step towards excellence in occupational health and safety? Join the ranks of nearly 90,000 professionals worldwide with the NEBOSH International General Certificate, now available virtually in Uganda. The NEBOSH IGC equips you with a comprehensive understanding of health and safety issues, essential for anyone aspiring to work in this vital field anywhere in the world. Respected by employers globally, the NEBOSH IGC is your gateway to a myriad of health and safety roles, be it an officer, advisor, or superintendent across virtually any industry. Crafted with the expertise of thousands of leading professionals, the updated NEBOSH IGC mirrors the current demands of employers, providing you with the knowledge and skills to create a safer workplace. Whether you're a manager, supervisor, or starting a career in health and safety, the NEBOSH International General Certificate is your stepping stone to success. Empower your career with the world-renowned NEBOSH IGC course. Enroll today and make safety second nature. Visit our website at www.finesseconsults.co to learn more and start your journey to becoming a health and safety leader.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are pleased to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining the webinar. My name is Ruth, Administrator Finesse Consults. We are very glad to have you. I'm going to invite my colleague, Priscilla Balco, who is also our Managing Director. Priscilla, are you hearing me?
Loud and clear, Ruth.
Thank you so much. You're very welcome.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. It's such a great day. Where I am, the sun is bright and the weather is very warm. I hope it's the same experience for everyone else. It's such an honor to host all of you for our very first IGC webinar in partnership with Astutis. We welcome all of you. We are glad that you made the decision to be a part of this afternoon. Before we go any further, allow me to say a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you for today. We thank you for the gift of life. We thank you for this afternoon. We thank you that we are here. And we thank you for the dreams that we have regarding our professional journey in health and safety. We pray that we will learn from this session to the glory of your name. Amen. I wish you all the very best. And for our partners from Astutis, thank you so much for this opportunity. Enjoy the rest of the session. Over to you, Ruth.
Thank you so much, Priscilla, our MD. We are very glad to have you. And thank you for leading us well. Fanny, I can see you. You're very welcome.
Thank you, Fanny. Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Priscilla, for the introduction, and great to meet everyone as well. Thank you for attending the webinar this afternoon.
Alan, please mute.
Hello, Io. So yeah, thank you for attending the webinar this afternoon, everyone. We're really pleased to have the opportunity to speak with you in collaboration with Finesse Consult. I'm sorry to say that it's not a sunny, warm day in the UK today, so please send some of the sunshine this way. It's a very wet and cold day here, but that's as you'd expect in the UK for May. So I'm looking forward to speaking with everyone today. The plan is to give you a quick overview of Astutis as an organisation and our collaboration with Finesse Consult. Talk to you a little bit about NEBOSH as an organisation and what they stand for, and give you an insight into the NEBOSH International General Certificate, the credibility of the qualification, the opportunities that it opens for those that achieve it, and also talk a little bit about how you can study the qualification through Finesse Consult and in collaboration with Astutis as well.
Thank you so much.
There'll be a bit of time. So the presentation I'm going to go through will be 15, 20 minutes probably, and then a bit of time for questions and answers at the end. I suppose, Ruth, any questions are probably best put into the chat, and then we can work through them. If that's okay with you.
I beg your pardon?
I was just saying that I'll go through the presentation, which is 15 or 20 minutes, and then I'm sure people will have some questions, so an opportunity for questions and answers towards the end of the session. It probably makes sense for people to put questions in the chat while I'm running through the presentation, and then we can circle back around and pick up on the questions at the end.
That is very true. That's very true. Members, we are invited to put our questions in the chat as Joe starts his presentation.
Look to the NEBOSH certificate. I don't know whether you can raise your hands in the chat, but yeah, interesting to understand how much sort of existing knowledge there is in the group, or whether you're totally new to the concept of NEBOSH training. Great. So we've got Rachel. Any others?
Yes, Rachel, Emmanuel.
Great.
I guess these ones have knowledge of the NEBOSH.
Yeah. Well, that's great, because one of the, we'll go through the presentation, but one of the key things about the NEBOSH and the qualification itself is that it is globally recognised and internationally recognised, and there certainly will be already health and safety professionals across Uganda that have achieved the qualification and are seeing the benefits in terms of their career progression and workplace impacts from having studied the NEBOSH certificate. So it's great to hear that some of you are already aware of the qualification. I think we almost had the slides shared then. They were up and they've gone again.
Yeah. Great. Perfect.
Thank you very much. So I think we've got the slides up. Are you able to skip to the next slide, please? So I've sort of given the introduction to Astutis already, but just to recap on that. So Astutis, as I said, we're a specialised health, safety and environmental training provider, and we focus on accredited HSE training. When we say accredited HSE training, that means that there's independent third-party validation of both the syllabus, so the content and the learning outcomes, and also the assessment process. So it's got that level of integrity as accredited training, that it's third-party stamped, third-party accredited, aligned with best practices, and there's a rigorous assessment examination process to award the final qualification or certification. And you can see on the right-hand side there some of the bodies that we operate under as a training provider. So we're a NEBOSH Gold Learning Partner. There are lots of NEBOSH Learning Partners all around the world, but there's only a select few that are Gold level NEBOSH Learning Partners, and that's based on the success of our learners. It's based on the quality of the learning materials and the quality of support that learners experience. And we're also a provider of IEMA training, which is environmental sustainability qualifications, IOSH and IIRSM, which are, as I say, are all third-party independent industry bodies within health, safety, and environmental field, and really set the standards in terms of best practice around the world. So we align ourselves with those organizations. We've got 13 years experience creating and delivering HSE qualifications. As I mentioned, our technical team is made up of subject matter experts, so experts within the field of health, safety and environmental sustainability, and adult learning specialists who understand how best to impart that knowledge so that learners can absorb as much as possible, pass the assessments, which is important, but also, almost more important is take that knowledge back to the workplace and make a real impact. We certify over 25,000 learners per year. That's not just in the NEBOSH General Certificate, that's across all of those accrediting bodies and a range of qualifications, but over 25,000 learners a year achieve health, safety, and environmental certificates with Astutis. And from a UK market perspective, which is held in well regard when it comes to health and safety, we are the leading provider in the UK of these qualifications, and we, our aim is to work with trusted partners like Finesse Consult to bring the benefits of that training to to an audience globally, within Uganda in this case. If we could skip to the next slide, please. A little bit of background on health and safety as a career, and most people that are looking to undertake the NEBOSH certificate or any formal sort of workplace training, there's a learning aspect to it, there's an impact aspect to it, but ultimately it is also about how you're fostering and nurturing your career. It's about how can you move forward with your own career and with your own opportunities, and the NEBOSH International General Certificate is certainly a qualification that enables that. In terms of health and safety as a career, it's a very rewarding and multifaceted career to move into. I mentioned at the start around our values as Astutis in terms of impacting high quality training for health, safety, and environmental sectors. The health and safety sector is very rewarding in terms of having a real impact in improving people's lives, the people that you work with, the people that you're close to, making sure they go home safely, and enhance the overall community well-being. Uganda brought in its recent Health and Safety at Work Act in 2006, so there's a real drive, and I'm sure you'll have all seen a drive over the last 20 years to improve workplace safety standards across the country, both with multinational organisations that are working there, but also at a grassroots level. So there's a real drive to improve not just traditional safety, accidents and fatalities, but also well-being. And health and safety covers both of those aspects, both your traditional industrial sort of physical safety, but also psychological and social safety when it comes to well-being as well. So it's certainly a very rewarding career to move into. It offers a really good route into business and into business management. A lot of the skills that we teach from a health and safety point of view and within the NEBOSH certificate, yes, they're aligned with health and safety management systems and with health and safety management best practice, but those principles are inherent in lots of different business areas, from quality, human resources when it comes to people management, culture development, learning and development. It's a real multifaceted discipline. Data management. There's lots of different areas within health and safety that provide a launch pad into other business management roles. And it's fair to say that although the NEBOSH certificate is aimed as an entry-level qualification to become a health and safety professional, if we were to look at the learners and the people that we've trained and have achieved the NEBOSH certificate, a significant proportion of them would be in non-health and safety specific roles. They would be perhaps in operational roles, operational management, operational leadership, logistics management, project management, those sort of disciplines, as well as health and safety. They'll have started their role in health and safety, and they'll have understood the business by speaking to people and understanding the business policies, procedures, how the organisation operates, and use that to move into other areas within the business and further their career that way. And finally, as a career and looking at opportunities, health and safety is a global profession, so it's not specific to the UK, it's not specific to Uganda, it's not specific to any particular geography or region. There's a worldwide requirement for good quality health and safety professionals, and it's not industry specific. So there's industries where health and safety is obviously more prominent, high risk industries, oil and gas, mining, heavy industry, construction, but actually every industry in the world needs good health and safety management and good people to support that health and safety management drive, whether it's retail, warehousing, transportation, public sector, IT and services. So there's loads of opportunities within health and safety, within a number of industries, within Uganda, but also globally as well. And the NEBOSH qualification certainly opens up those doors. If we could skip to the next slide, please. So it sounds like some of you are already familiar with NEBOSH as an entity. So to explain, I suppose, the relationship between NEBOSH, the accrediting body, and us and Finesse as training providers. NEBOSH do not provide any training themselves or education themselves. They set the qualification standards, so they write the syllabus for the NEBOSH International Certificate, and they collaborate with industry-leading bodies. They collaborate with industry sectors as well to understand what the demand is. What is the best practice at the moment? What do employers need from health and safety professionals? What do they need those people to know and understand when they're employing them? So NEBOSH do that background research and that background lobbying and create the qualification specifications out of that. And that's really important because that means that the qualification, when you're going to look for career opportunities in employment, industry understands that the skills you've learned within the NEBOSH certificate are relatable to the challenges and the objectives that they've got. So NEBOSH set the standard for the syllabus, and they also then manage the assessment process, the assessment and examination process. And that's really important that process is handled independently of the training providers, because it gives that level of integrity. Again, when you're looking at career opportunities and speaking with potential employers or recruitment consultants, holding a NEBOSH certificate, those employers will know that there's a level of rigor, a level of integrity to be able to achieve that qualification. That piece of paper really means something. So NEBOSH, if anyone's interested what the name sort of stands for, it's an acronym for the National Examining Board for Occupational Safety and Health, regulated by Ofqual, which is the UK's leading qualifications regulator. So the NEBOSH International Certificate is a formal qualification. It's not just a training course, not just a certification. It's a formal educational qualification. I've mentioned the collaboration with industry and NGOs to establish the standards, and recognised worldwide for quality and integrity of assessment. It's UK-based qualification, but it's recognised widely across the world, particularly within East Africa. We train a lot of people and a lot of organisations in Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, but we also do a lot of work across Europe and North America as well. To give you an example, Amazon require all of their health and safety professionals to achieve the NEBOSH International General Certificate. So about 2,000 plus people worldwide within Amazon, as one of the world's biggest companies, have achieved the NEBOSH certificate, and it's part of their quality drive to be able to ensure that not just in the UK and not just in the US, that health and safety message is being hammered home, that it's across their operations globally. So the worldwide recognition is really, really important, and that's founded in the integrity and the quality of the qualification. Next slide, please. So a little bit more about the International General Certificate itself. So NEBOSH, there's a range of qualifications that the NEBOSH provide, and there are higher level qualifications than the NEBOSH certificate. So there's the NEBOSH diploma, which is a degree level, an honours degree level qualification, and there are also discipline specialist qualifications, fire, for example, or process safety management. But the NEBOSH International General Certificate is the foundation qualification and the sort of springboard to all of those other opportunities. So always we advise learners to start with the NEBOSH International General Certificate, because that gives you a core understanding of the principles of health and safety management, and from there you can progress to higher level qualifications or look at specialisms within the certificate level, whether that be fire safety, construction safety, process safety management, environmental management, and so on. So the NEBOSH International General Certificate is 100% the right place to start, whether you're looking to begin a career in health and safety, or whether you've started a career in health and safety and are looking for a formal qualification to cement your long-term opportunities. It helps develop an understanding of best practice health and safety management and how to practically implement this within the workplace. A recent study by IOSH, which is the Institute of Occupational Safety and Health, found that 85% of job advertisements for health and safety professionals specified the NEBOSH certificate as essential, or NEBOSH certificate or equivalent as essential. So it's really important to have that to stand out, or just to keep pace with the competition, really. It's industry and geographically agnostic, so it travels, all the way around the world and in any industry. And it also, achieving the NEBOSH International Certificate allows you as a health and safety professional to gain membership to professional bodies such as IOSH, which is a UK body, the BCRSP, which is the Canadian Chartered Safety body, the BCSP, which is the US Chartered Safety membership body, and the IIRSM, which is the Institute of Risk Management. So gaining the qualification also allows you to obtain professional designation as well within your field. Next slide, please. A little bit of detail on the qualification itself. So it's split into two units, and you can see in the diagram or the table on the left-hand side there how the units are structured and the topics that are covered. And I'm sure Ruth and the team will be happy to send you more detailed information on the course and what's covered. But just to give you an overview, it's split into two units, IG1 and IG2. IG1 is the blue section there, and that's all about the actual sort of management of health and safety. So that's all about management systems, management structures. So what is the business driver for managing health and safety? What is a health and safety management system, and what does that look like, and how do you implement that within an organization? How do businesses quantify or identify and quantify risks and understand how to mitigate those risks? And how do they measure and monitor whether safety performance is improving or not? So the first unit is all about management systems and how organizations manage health and safety. And the second unit is about practical health and safety management. So that looks at specific hazard types, from physical and psychological hazards, musculoskeletal hazards, chemical and biological, workplace equipment, fire, electricity. So within that module, you look at around about 20 different types of hazard that are common within workplaces, how to identify those, and what sort of control measures should be put in place to mitigate the risks that those hazards present to workers. In terms of study time, it's between 80 and 100 hours worth of study required for the to make sure you're or to give you the best chance of being successful in the formal assessment. So it's a significant undertaking, a significant investment in time to achieve the qualification. But it's a really well-rounded syllabus that's going to give you a really, really comprehensive understanding of those fundamentals. And as I mentioned, it's formally assessed. So the first element there is assessed through an examination, and it's an online open book examination set against a scenario. So it's not a traditional question and answer. You actually have to read through a workplace scenario and then answer questions based on what's happening within that scenario. So again, very important to make that link between passing the course and learning the content and being able to apply that within the workplace. And then the second unit, the IG2, is assessed through a risk assessment exercise, and that requires the learner to go and actually look at a place of work, maybe their own place of work or a colleague's place of work or a public environment, and undertake a hazard identification and risk assessment activity and actually write a report on that. And that's the fundamental of health and safety management: identifying hazards, quantifying the risk, and looking at ways to control that risk or mitigate that risk to prevent harm. So again, all about actually giving you the experience of undertaking some practical work around health and safety management. Next slide, please. So just a little bit to finish off on studying the NEBOSH International Certificate. Hopefully I've given you a flavour for health and safety as a career, the benefits and the quality of the NEBOSH International General Certificate in terms of your personal career development and workplace impact. So I'm sure some of you will be interested to think, how can I study the course? What support can you give me to achieve the qualification? So as I mentioned, at Astutis, we combine subject matter expertise with learning design and learning theory. And we provide virtual and e-learning, so remote learning options to study the NEBOSH International Certificate in partnership with Finesse Consults. We really talk about a 4-stage learning process, and this is how we implement learning into the courses that we deliver. And it's all about, first of all, knowledge transfer. So it's giving the information, the key concepts, the fundamental sort of principles of health and safety management. Knowledge retention. So that's about actually getting people to do some activities. E-learning, that's drag and drop interactivities. If it's a tutor-led course, it's about doing maybe some group discussions, group exercises. So we've given you the information. Can you order that information? Can you actually make sense of that information within a conversation with colleagues or with fellow learners? Or can you actually understand how to place that information in the right boxes on the screen? Knowledge communication. Can you explain the principle to someone else? So do you understand the principles enough to be able to explain it to someone else, to be able to verbalize that information? And then knowledge application. We talked about the knowledge application when it comes to undertaking the risk assessments and so on. So there's a huge amount of learning theory that goes into the training that we deliver, which is all about, yes, preparing you to pass the assessments, but also preparing you when you go into the workplace, back into your role or take on a new role, that you're well equipped to make a real success of that. So flexible e-learning and virtual training options, local support, I know from the team at Finesse Consult, to help guide you through the qualification and give you the local hands-on support, as well as tutor support from our team here in the UK. And we do provide really rigorous exam preparation guidance. So it's important to ensure that you're learning the content and you're understanding the information, but we provide a whole host of resources and revisions resources and exam preparation resources to make sure that you're feeling really confident when you get to the assessment phase of the qualification, and that all that hard work that you will have put in over those hours of study are really channeled into success at exam time. One more click of the slides, I think. Just the final slide, and that's it. So hopefully that's given everyone a good overview of Astutis, our collaboration with Finesse Consults, health and safety as a career option, NEBOSH and the NEBOSH International General Certificate, and a flavour for how you can undertake and be successful in achieving the qualification through our partnership. I'd just like to encourage any questions through the chat, and Ruth, Priscilla, the team there, if you've got any questions specifically that you'd like me to answer, again, shout those out, and happy to to give as much information as possible. Ruth, I don't know if there's any questions in the...
Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you so much. I'm going to invite Deo to let us know if he has received any questions. Emmanuel, I can see what you're saying. Could you put your question here for the benefit of all of us? Can you maybe raise up your hand or unmute or anything so that we all have the question? And the rest of us, you can come through with your questions so that we all have the clarity. Thank you so much, Joe. That was really brilliant and awesome. I've learned something myself. Yes, so hopefully we can get our professionals or our yet to be NEBOSH holders to let us know if they need any clarity. Thank you so much. Yes, please, Emmanuel, please unmute.
Hi, everyone. I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, hi, Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you so much, Joe, for the presentation. And I want to thank all the organizers for this webinar, and it's really so beneficial. Well, about 2-3 months ago, I enrolled for the IGC. And from the time I enrolled, I'm really there's a lot that I'm learning, and I'm really so glad that we have opportunities like this to even learn more and prepare ourselves for the exam. Uh, Joe, I have three questions. One, you mentioned about, and I've actually read it, in some platforms, YouTube videos and all that. Is a NEBOSH diploma equivalent to a bachelor's degree? I really need to understand that because, I don't understand so much the levels, is level 6, level 7.
Yeah, yeah,
I need to understand that and, see how maybe it fits to
yeah,
our, local, that is where the local conversion or something. And
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
that's one. Two, if I got my qualification for the IGC, can I immediately, apply for membership, with those mentioned bodies, or I need to first gain some experience, then, I can apply and, it's a requirement,
Yeah.
experience is a requirement. I need to know that also.
Yeah. Well,
The third one, I seem to have forgotten, but I'm
yeah.
sure I'll
Okay. Well,
remember it along the way.
yeah. If I answer the first two, and then maybe the third one will come to you. It's two really good questions. Thanks, Emmanuel. So the first question around the NEBOSH diploma, and I think you're right. It can be quite confusing because there's different countries and regions have different qualification banding. As you say, level 6s and level 8s and level 12s. I think in South Africa, it's a level 12 qualification. But simply, yes, it's equivalent to an honours degree, bachelor degree qualification. So equivalent to spending 3 years in university undertaking a degree. And there's a whole range of universities that will then actually accept the NEBOSH diploma as a prerequisite to moving on to a master's, postgraduate qualification. So if you visit the NEBOSH website, they have got a list of all of the universities that offer master's courses for those that have completed the NEBOSH International Diploma. So there certainly is that study progression available with NEBOSH, the NEBOSH International Certificate. You've done exactly the right thing, which is start at the NEBOSH International Certificate, then the NEBOSH Diploma, which is the degree level qualification, and that again opens doors to to studying a master's course if that's where you wanted to where you wanted to take your learning. So hopefully that's answered the first question. Second question around professional membership. Yes. So when it comes to professional membership bodies, they have tiers of membership. So if I talk about IOSH, which is the most sort of worldwide recognized membership body, you've got technical membership, so TIOSH. You've got a diploma member of IOSH, and then you've got chartered member and a fellow of IOSH. So there's a couple of tiers there. Achieving the NEBOSH International Certificate qualifies you to apply for technical membership, so you can gain membership of IOSH. Moving up through the membership grades, it does then depend on experience, and you're expected to provide annual CPD, so career progression information to maintain and upgrade that membership. But at an entry level, yes, once you've achieved the NEBOSH International Certificate, you can apply for technical membership of IOSH. I think it's associate membership of the International Institute of Risk Management. And again, there's an equivalent. I think it's technical membership of the BCSP and BCRSP. So you can start at the first level, and then to progress up through the membership rungs, it does then is partly determined by experience and that sort of continued professional development. Are there any other questions, Ruth? I can't see the messages for some reason.
I'm sorry about that. Isaac, I've seen your questions. I'm also going to put our contact in the chat so that you can reach us. Isaac, you can WhatsApp or send us an email. I'll answer questions regarding how much, what are the application windows, or can I apply anytime? Yes, you can apply anytime. What changes is the examination time. So your examinations are scheduled for a specific time, but a student can join anytime. You can join anytime because what Finesse offers is a self-paced e-learning course. How long is the course?
I think we lost the sound, Ruth.
Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I think you cut out just at the very end of the answer on how long is the course there.
You cannot understand. Hi, Joe. I guess I did not hear you well. I beg your pardon.
I don't know, maybe it was just me, perhaps everyone else heard, but I think that the sound cut out. You were answering the question about how long is the course, and the sound.
No, I'm asking, maybe you can share and we can respond to that. How long is the course?
Yeah, certainly. So study hours, recommended study hours is between 80 and 100 hours. As Ruth mentioned, the primary sort of course format we offer is self-study e-learning. So it is down to the individual learner to determine how much time they spend working through the course. But our metrics show that those people that spend more than 80 hours working through the e-learning course have the best chance of success at exam time. There is actually a tool within the e-learning course called Study Smart, which actually allows you to program a completion date, and it will then calculate how many hours a week you need to study and how you need to progress through the course. Or the other way around, say, well, I'm able to give 2 hours of study a week, and it will then calculate when your exam dates will be. So there's actually an application within the course that helps you to plan your study based on hours per week that you're able to give up for studying. In terms of access to the course and support, it's 12 months. So when you start when you enroll on the course, although it's 80 to 100 hours to roughly in terms of study time, and as Ruth said, there are specific exam dates every month. You determine how quickly or slowly you work through the course, and you determine which exam dates you want to aim for. But you need to do that within a 12-month period. So you've got a 12-month window to complete the process. A couple of interesting. I can see the messages now, Ruth. I can see that Rachel's asking about the exams. They seem easy, but also easy to fail. They're tough exams. They certainly are difficult exams. It's by no means a given that everyone passes. And again, that's part of the integrity and the prestige of the NEBOSH qualification. That not anyone passes it. You really do need to put the work in and apply yourself in the assessments. Just sort of anecdotally, what we see with people who do struggle at exam time, it's that element of relating the answers back to the scenario. So the questions and the exam papers can sometimes seem quite simple, and the mistake people make is list a load of information or just sort of brain dump all the information that's in their mind, and they forget that to get half of the marks, they've got to explain how that information is relevant to the scenario that is set within the exam paper. So that's a big mistake that lots of people make. They go, "Oh, I know the answer to this question." They put all the information down, but they forget to link it to the scenario, which you need to do to be able to get maximum marks. Can I do IGC in Uganda and get employed in the UK without doing the national certificate or US version? Good question, Emmanuel. USA, you'd be fine with the international general certificate. For the UK, it wouldn't prevent you from gaining work in the UK, but you would need to brush up on UK health and safety legislation, and the NEBOSH, the national version of the course would do that. So it wouldn't prevent you totally from working in the UK, but at some point in time, if you were to come and work in the UK, you probably would need to also undertake the national version of the certificate, which covers the UK health and safety legislation. But for the US, the international is fine. Robin, no. So I've done IOSH working safety, managing safety. Do I qualify for membership automatically? Strangely enough, no, even though those are IOSH courses. The distinction between IOSH Working Safely and IOSH Managing Safely, which, by the way, are really good courses as well. Managing Safely particularly is an excellent course to undertake, not just for health and safety professionals, but for general managers as well. The distinction between those and the NEBOSH courses is that those are certifications. They're still accredited, but they're certifications rather than qualifications. And to move through to get on that membership sort of ladder with IOSH, you need the qualification. And actually, a lot of if you've done managing safely, you've already got a bit of a head start on the NEBOSH International Certificate, because a lot of the themes and principles are the same. They're more advanced and more detailed in the NEBOSH certificate, but the general themes around risk assessment and accident theory, auditing, common hazards, you'll see a lot of commonality there. So you should, if you've undertaken IOSH Managing Safely already, you should feel confident in progressing to the NEBOSH certificate. If you fail one of the NEBOSH exams, you can retake the assessments as often as you want. There is a cost to doing that to re-enroll in the exams, but you can keep keep taking that. You're not sort of you're not prevented from still aiming to achieve the qualification if you fail a paper. Ruth, I think we're sort of reaching the sort of cut-off point for the timing. So perhaps if we do one or two more questions, and then I'm sure you've got plenty of information to send out to everyone after the webinar. Would therefore kind of highlight the conditions of the membership. Ruth, what we can do, I'll ask Fanny to do this, is send over just a link to the IOSH website, which has got the requirements for membership listed on there. So there's a membership section on the IOSH website, and we can share that with you. And if you'd like to share that with the group, then that will give all the information on those various tiers and what's required to move through those membership tiers.
Okay, that will be very helpful since our members are asking for it. Thank you so much, Joe. Yes, good people, we are still answering one or two questions. We can have someone raise up our hands? If we have more questions. And Joe, I believe you've answered most of the questions our people had. At least for me, I've just been looking through. Okay, I needed clarity on that. I needed clarity on that. Yes, Solomon, just unmute and go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Yeah, this is Solomon Avaho. I just wanted to get clarification on IOSH and NEBOSH. Of the two, which is the best qualification? Because I'm currently doing NEBOSH, but would you advise me to also go for IOSH after my NEBOSH? Thank you.
Hi, Solomon. No, if you're already on the NEBOSH pathway, then stick with that. The IOSH Managing Safely is sort of one step down from the NEBOSH certificate. So if you've already done the IOSH Managing Safely like Robin, then great, because you've got some knowledge already to progress onto the NEBOSH certificate. But if you're already doing the NEBOSH certificate, you'd essentially be going backwards. You'd be covering the same information, but at a lower level, doing the managing safely. So stick with, if you're already at the NEBOSH certificate level, stick with that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Solomon. Thank you, Joe.
Pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Do we have any more questions? And if we do not, yes, Solomon, do you still have a question?
Yes, yes, he did some clarification on that. But after my NEBOSH, can I become a member of IOSH? Can I be a member of IOSH, or still I have to first take the IOSH to
No, no,
be?
yeah, no, you don't need to do the Irish courses to become a member of Irish. You can apply directly once you've achieved the NEBOSH certificate.
Okay, thank you, sir.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you, Joe. Yes, Robin.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
I just need a little bit of clarification. How would I get the course requirements is what I need to know, the course access, and then the study time, it was already explained. And then the last thing is, I read somewhere an article that says once you do NEBOSH IGC, you will automatically qualify for IOS. It's managing working safely. I will wish to know if it is a correct one. Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. Irish Working Safely is a training course for sort of general workforce. So what I suspect you're seeing there, Robin, is a provider sort of offering a marketing initiative to say, well, do the NEBOSH certificate with us, and we'll give you access to Irish Working Safely. But to be honest, that's not adding any extra value, because Irish Working Safely is a far simpler level course than the NEBOSH International Certificate. And if you're looking to become a safety professional, Irish Working Safely is not going to really hold any value in terms of being a health and safety professional. So I think what you're seeing there, or articles that you're seeing there, is more of a marketing initiative to try and sort of give away access to Irish Working Safely with the NEBOSH certificate. But if you do the NEBOSH certificate, you'd be just using up your time going back and doing Working Safely. It wouldn't necessarily add any value in addition to the NEBOSH certificate.